Hey, it's Dan McDonald here, and I just wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. And I wanted to thank everyone for sharing my videos on Facebook. Obviously, many of you know by now, a couple months ago, YouTube completely took me off, and they're not going to be giving that back, that channel. Thankfully, a friend of mine took everything with his high-speed internet and put all 3,000 videos over on Rumble. So I have a Rumble account now under the Life Regenerator. And so far I haven't really gotten any views. I don't know if the algorithms or whatever, how they work over there, but one of these days I'll see if I can get some kind of flow kicking over there. But I've got the Facebook now, and I've just did a Christmas sale, and that went okay. I mean, I kind of milked that titty dry, but I tried to create some new information products, but I just went way too far down the rabbit hole, because everything ties back into, and some people made some comments, no one ever talks about this. They just stay in their lane. They talk about the solution, but they don't talk about the problem. So in other words, they're like selling you the solution. I just have this weird thing that's bad for all businesses, like to tell people what the cause of the problem is, so their kids never have problems or they never get diseases in the first place. If you track everything back, you can go back to the mistakes that human beings are making that end up ruining their genetic expression, and ruining their nervous system and creating these autoimmune diseases, which are basically the presence of synthetics that the body recognizes as non-self. So obviously the immune system is going to set up a response to that just because we're unaware. That's why it's good to know the details, but it's good to have like a third eye vision of what this thing is and what purity is and what types of substances are inimical to cellular biology. And so, but you're not allowed to talk about that because it's a $1.5 trillion sickness industry. And they've been doing this for hundreds of years. And only a very few small percentage of the people understand, that although there are some benefits to emergency medicine, most of what's going on in the mainstream medical pharmaceutical complex as an industry is detrimental, because those pills basically is the number one thing. Because I never watched TV for like, I don't know how many decades or whatever. But when you go, like you're traveling or whatever, you go to a motel room and you're like, oh, the free movie. Along with the free movie comes these commercials, and every commercial is for drugs, 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 drugs. And when you say, you know what, I'm not on any drugs at all, none, they're like, wait, how can that be? It's like, but see, we weren't really designed to be constantly on drugs. I understand people's pain, but I'm still recommending, like, to find a way to deal with the pain, find out what's causing the pain. And a lot of it isn't just the, physiological obstructions leading to like inflammation, but you're talking about energetic obstructions that the individual mechanism doesn't really want to deal with or feel it to heal it, sort of saying. So then there's all of these distractionary methods designed by the unconscious to avoid having to face those traumas or those generational curses or whatever you want to call it. And that's where you overeat and take drugs and drink too much. And that's where you eat all the gourmet food, and that's why you need the coffee. And I'm just, I got very lucky with this whole living foods thing. It came to me. I had a relationship with Jesus since I was 4 years old. I'm not hyper religious or anything. You won't hear me quoting the Bible very often because it's not in the books. You know what I'm saying? It's in your heart, but that's a whole other discussion. But Jesus came at 4 years old, and then Jesus came again at, I think, the age of 26 or so, in October of 2000. And that's when I found the gospel of peace, and that's when I decided right then and there, okay, this is it. Because I had already been juicing for like almost a decade. My parents bought me a juicer when I was 19. So I've been juicing every day for like 30 years. I want to tell you a little story that's so cool. It's the craziest thing that ever happened to me. It was just yesterday. I woke up early because I work for a nice lady and I make the juice, and I was making juice in the morning, and I made this juice. It was coconut, cucumber, cilantro, dill, and kale, and lemon. And I filled up all the jars, and I just took a little bit. I never really drink early. I didn't even have my first juice until like 1 o'clock, which was a lemon ginger blast. But I just had the little bit was left, and I'm not going to pour it down the sink or anything, or try to fill a little jar or whatever. I just took it and I put it in a cup, and it was actually like a full glass. I never drink that early in the morning. It was even before my first consult, which was at 7 a.m. So it was like, it was just right at 7 that I drank this. And I don't even drink until maybe I'll have a coconut or something or two around 10 at the earliest, or 11. But I had this amazing juice, and it was like, oh my God, that's the best green juice I've ever had. And then I also made this other juice, which I intuitively knew was next level gangster juice because the pineapple was so perfect. And I thought, oh, this isn't going to be enough mint, because I just had this little tiny bundle from the stand. And then I had the cucumber and so it was pineapple, cucumber, mint, cilantro, and coconut water. And I just looked at it and I thought, that's got to be like the absolute best. So I put a little jar for myself aside. And I didn't have that I had that for dessert last night. But then just in the middle of the day, I was like, you know what? I really want a lemon ginger blast, because it's like the lemon ginger blast is kind of expensive here because all the other herbs are here. Like fennel is local, dandelion's local, arugula local, but the apples are like $2 for one apple. Whereas on the mainland or whatever, they might be like $1 or even like 50 cents per apple or whatever. So a lemon ginger blast is a lot more inexpensive, and I like to go as local as I can. So anyways, I made a lemon ginger blast. I made a video. In fact, the last 2 days I've made like 20 or 30 videos. Number one, my upload speed sucks. And number two, the videos are just not good enough. And so I end up posting all of them over on my Elite Video Club because they love whatever I post. I'm trying to do, something good. I know I just came back quickly to do a Christmas sale, which actually did do okay, enough to pay rent. Praise the Lord. Like, God always works like that. You just get what you need. And so thanks everyone who purchased that. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get back on my feet again. YouTube really knocked me off my feet. I had that thing set up really, really good. And I took many years to build that up and set it up in a way where I could live the lifestyle and not be enslaved to social media. Because living the lifestyle is more important to me than all the money in the world. So I made a lemon ginger blast, and I made a video, and I, talked about the how to clean out all the blood clots and stuff using Pyridime, and how to get your gut cleaned out. And that was about 40-minute video there, and a little bit of tinfoil hat stuff, but I don't think anything that's gonna get me busted. But my brother, he watches my videos and stuff. He's like, "Be quiet, stop," and I'm just like, I'm always pushing the button. You're like, chemtrails and geoengineering and weather modification are not real, but if they were, this is the juice recipe that I would use. And it was chlorella, but I would also use chlorella, spirulina, wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa, super blue-green algae, Aphanes amazon, floss aqua, and I also use the wild grasses that grow out here too. So everyone mistakes the context of these short little posts, because when I write the long ones, no one reads them, and they get skipped by the algorithm because our attention span has gotten so short. So what I've done is I've made a bunch of videos, the SMART videos, social media attention reset training. In other words, teaching everyone how to meditate 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time. I do an hour every morning, and it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me in my life. That's been going on for a little over, or no, almost 5 years now. Yeah, almost 5 years of a daily 1 hour meditation at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's one of the greatest things. It's an adjunct to the focusing of the sexual energy. Instead of, blasting it all over the place, you just circulate it back into your projects in your life. And then the living foods, of course, as much as fresh local food as you can get that's vibrantly alive, that has a shorter transit time, and it's just cellulose and water and minerals that doesn't leave a lot of residues, because the starches leave quite a bit of a sticky, starchy residues. The animal products tend to leave, the cheese and the milk is kind of the most thick, viscous, mucus forming. And then the animal flesh leaves a thin little layer of grease every time. So those, when you're an omnivore and you're not doing periodic cleansing or using different herbs and things to keep that grease and those starchy plaques out of your gut, then eventually it builds up into those mucoid plaques and those biofilms. And so I recommend like a periodic, 30-day paradigm detox, so that you can keep those, and juice fasting, and of course the greatest of all, water fasting. But I don't meet very many people who can even water fast for one day. But at the end of the day, one of these days I'm going to teach about the truth about water fasting. So those that are really truly ready, that really want to know the truth, instead of all this stuff that's okay, I don't want to be a negative dick, but it's amateur hour, according to my own experience anyways. And it's nice, you try to help people, to help them to quit killing themselves with junk food, and then they feel better. But true healing and regeneration is simple, but it is not easy, because you're dealing with your own subconscious programs. You're dealing with the mind. You're dealing with millions of years of biological evolution, which is like, if there's food there, eat it. So really what you learn in the end is the pros and cons of eating and the pros and cons of fasting. But I digress, my friend. The reason why I wanted to tell that story about the green juice is that green juice that I had in the morning, with the dill and the kale and the cilantro and the lemon and the cucumber and the coconut water. I got an audience of geese over here. We call them nenes. They're like, what's this dude doing? They're coming up on me. But and we got little kitties everywhere. It's a jungle out here. What's up? You chilling? What's up? Aloha, brah. This is the male and the female. And this whole place is just a bird sanctuary. It's amazing. Like, there'll be a time of the day where and then Mount Namahana's right there, and it's like, oh, homeboy thinks he's going to chase away the cat. Hey, dude. I got a whole show going over here. Oh, and this one just took a crap. Cool. So the geese tries to chase away the cats. It's hilarious. But the cats ain't messing, because homeboy's scared of chickens. He ain't really scared of the geese, but he's scared of the chickens. I don't know, like when he was little, I think one of the chickens must have busted his head or something. But anyways, I took that drink, and it was like that in the morning, which I never drink that early, but like I said, the story, I was like, holy crap, that is like the best green juice I have ever had. It was just the most amazing. It was like perfectly perfect. So if you ever get a chance to try that, coconut, cucumber, kale, cilantro, and dill. And you can add some celery in there too if you want. Celery is, by the time it gets over here to Hawaii, it's schwagola. I like things popping fresh. That's why I eat like probably 90 to 95% local, And then like the apples aren't local, right? So that'll be like the non-local thing that I'll do. But then in the afternoon, I was going to make a video because I was so thankful to everyone for sharing my videos and purchasing, the Christmas sale. And I was like, hey, I really want to thank everyone and do some educating. So then I made like a video and a lemon ginger blast again, over and over again. But then I was in the middle of the video and I was drinking the lemon ginger blast, and I was like, holy crap, this is the best lemon ginger blast I've ever had in my whole life. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. The dandelion looked like it was fake. It was so fresh. And the arugula was so fresh. And the ginger was so fresh. Like everything had been picked that morning. The fennel. I think the fennel had probably been picked the day before from Molowa'a Organica. And I went there and had this big head of fennel. And the lemon also, you know how Meyer lemons, everyone gets yellow lemons, but when a lemon is truly ripe, it is actually orange. So the poor world, we just don't focus enough. And then we go to Pizza Hut and McDonald's and wonder why we're so easily manipulated, and we're not clear and bright and able to understand to be 2 steps ahead of globalist tyranny, you know. Anyhow, everything's going to work out fine. I think 2023 in some ways is going to be worse, and other ways is going to be better. But everyone that's waking up is like, to hell with these politicians. Let them, I mean, what can we do? Anyways, forget about all that crap. I just basically, it's gotten so insane that you're just like, you know, it's just absolute bizarro land. You can't even take any of it seriously anymore. So, anyhow, just laugh at the clown world. So I had the best lemon ginger blast. So there's like two out of three green juices are like the best green juices I ever had. And then I actually went to the market and I made a little bit of this DTM's instant kimchi, and that's what I had for dinner with some fresh salad greens and some macadamia nuts. And then after that, that was my New Year's Eve dinner. Watched a movie. The heck did I even watch? Oh, I watched one of the old rom-com classics with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. The Proposal. Seen it 3 or 4 times. Hilarious. Love that movie. Sometimes I just feel like no action adventure, just calm, chill. So a rom-com it is, And then for dessert, that juice that I had put away was the pineapple, cucumber, mint, cilantro, and sometimes I'll throw a lime in, but yesterday I didn't. The pineapple was perfect because some of the pineapples are too ripe and they're a little bit fermented. I'll still use them anyways, but they're a little bit alcoholic, Not bad. It's not like I'm going to do it and get drunk, but they get so ripe here that they get too ripe. But this pineapple yesterday was absolute perfection of nature. And I knew that's a good juice drink too. So I had that for dessert and I was just like, oh my God, this is the best green juice I've ever had. So yesterday on New Year's Eve, I had 3 of the best green juices. And I'm not like saying that. I mean, I really mean it from my heart. It was like, oh my God, the one in the morning, this is the most amazing thing. And then the lemon ginger blast in the afternoon, oh my God, this is the best lemon ginger blast I've ever had in like, 10 years. And then the pineapple juice, which I kind of call the it's kind of like a tropical heavy metal detox, And so 3 green juices yesterday, that's basically my life, is like 2 to 3 green juices, or even fruit juice too. I had some Tangelo juice. I made Tangelo juice, orange juice, grapefruit juice, But usually I drink anywhere from 2 to 4 quarts of juice, and then I'll have like a salad or a fruit meal if I feel like it. Some nights I'll make like a coconut yogurt and have a banana, a couple bananas, and a papaya, and I'll have that for dinner. But I like my little veggie salads. They're kind of like my little party reward crunchy, chewy dopamine, relax after a long, hard day of working and just running around like I'm home, I'm just home. This is where I belong. I haven't wore shoes. I didn't wear shoes or a shirt for 6 years, unless I was on video or whatever. Or when I climb the coconut trees, I put the shoes on, you know. Um, but this is just where I belong, and it's just I feel really, really well, And so I'm going to try to get back to making videos. I've made a lot of videos, but I just trying to dial it in, I don't know. Actually, I do know what it is. I talked to a friend and she's like, I'm the same way. I make these videos and I think, oh, this is stupid because I've heard this 10 million times. But then my students write to me and they're saying, oh, this was the best video you've ever made. I learned so much. So she learned how to get over it because this has been going on for years and years for me. Like I make these videos and I'm like, I kind of enjoy making them. But then when I'm done, I'm like, that wasn't that great. I didn't say anything new. It wasn't really that cool, and I just skip it. So I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those videos that just get deleted, or I just send them over to the Elite Video Club, which is where I'm going to be. But then, you know, I will come back to social media. I'm trying to restructure things to see if I can get this dialed in. So far, I've got the Facebook. I've got my Dan the Life Regenerator McDonald Facebook page, and I have a teeny tiny channel on YouTube, but I'm not going to invest too much in that. I'm not going to invest too much in the Facebook either, because I think they'll pull my card, but I think it'd be a smart investment to go over to Rumble and invest over there, because they're more of a free speech platform, which I've never known free speech. I've never been able to really speak the way I want, because you would be like, this guy is a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy nut. But the thing is it's actually all true. Everything about polio and everything about DDT and everything about autoimmune diseases and everything about cancer and cancer treatments and the history there. But I've never been able to say it. And sometimes I think the world doesn't want truth. But if you wanted to know like how to be ridiculously healthy and maintain your sexual vitality and virility and keep that pep in your step, it can be done. I mean, I'm almost 50 and I'm feeling just as spry as I was when I was 20, if not better, because I'm completely sober now. You know what I'm saying? And that makes it so that you have this consistency and you can get these wonderful habits, and then you can get the living consciousness down, and then you don't need the coffee, then your adrenals aren't burned out, and then your endocrine glands stay healthy, then you can sleep at night and get a regularity going and understand your own body. Then you can create a protocol for yourself that helps you to heal, or you can create protocols to keep you balanced depending upon what you want to do. Or you can create protocols to gain weight, which I'll be doing a little bit more this year. I'm going to go into some cleansing right now. Then I'm going to go into a building phase. And I'm going to put on 10 or 15 pounds of muscle, just for the fun of it, Right now I've been more really, the last year has been really about meditation and inner silence, And I still want to continue to have that, but I do see myself as being a servant and sharing the health knowledge. So, for now, it's going to be just this Facebook, and I'm going to be putting all the outtakes on the Elite Video Club on Patreon. That's a monthly club, and that's my favorite place because over there I can speak freely, and I have a relationship with real live human beings on the Zoom calls. So that's pretty much my favorite, which has ruined me for social media. Because if there's nobody there, it's like, what are you doing? You're just this narcissist talking into a camera, you know. And that's part of the problem. It's like, I don't even really want to hear myself talk anymore, but I can do this. It's like story time, or maybe there's some things in here that are helpful or whatever. So anyways, the whole big story, it's basically duality. And it's just the more evolved the consciousness becomes, the more you see the dualities. Like, hey, I could really help people, but then it's also like, yeah, but you didn't say anything new, and it's like stupid, and you've heard this a million times, and so have they, and and it's not really the full context because words don't really work to express the truth. It's like, oh, well, that won't work. But then it's like, but you need to eat, Dan, and pay rent, so you've got to do something. And then I don't do the free stuff because it's like, hey, look at what I ate. It's like, I don't even care. Like, I don't, I'm going to get some likes. I'm not addicted to social media anymore. I don't need likes from anybody. I have an awesome life within my own self. So the dopamine and stuff, I don't even want to get addicted to. Oh, they like me. And then you start saying everything and making these little short videos and no one has an attention span. It's not cool, man. You want to really educate people on what they can do to change their life so that they can have energy and they don't fall into these pitfalls. And if they do, then what they can do, learn from falling in these pitfalls and turning the tragedy into triumph, becoming a better person. I mean, flowers and fruit grow from the shite, you know what I'm saying, of your life. So, just keep on keeping on when it comes to turning the doo-doo into fruit and flowers, okay? And be persistent. Don't ever give up. So I just wanted to thank everyone. Happy New Year. Tell a couple stories. Thank everyone. I'm going to be dipping out for a minute to get very seriously focused on sadhana. So if anybody misses the DTM, I do share my spiritual journey with the Elite Video Club on Patreon, just because it's a live Zoom and then I just channel whatever comes through, And so more of the truth about what's really actually going on instead of these videos where I really am super, super minimized as to what I can say due to big tech and also just you don't want to expose the most important vulnerabilities because you can teach through your own experiences, that are very unique because, you're a deep diver and you're a mountaintop climber. So, well, I hope you have an awesome new year and I will see everybody soon. Yeah, when I see ya, I'll see ya. Thanks for everything. Peace.